Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of this series here with making this squared around transition where we've got the 8" by 8" opening with a 6" round transition leaving. Previous video we just got done drawing out our plan, so in this video, this part of the series, we're going to transfer these marks to the sheet metal underneath here. So off camera I just folded the corners over to burn up the additional paper on the ends there that we didn't use, so we'll just kind of set that up close to one edge, and then I'm going to grab some just simple Scotch tape here. We're going to tape that down so it's tight. You can, if you prefer, you can redraw this thing in its entirety in full, and that's not a problem either, but it might be an additional amount of work for you that maybe you don't need to do. So I'm going to put this on here, tape that down to the edges, and I'm going to just use a scratch awl and transition the marks from the template plan right on through to the sheet metal, so we don't have to redraw all of that again another time. So making certain everything's flat and snug, we'll tape that down. And then I'm going to take my scratch awl and I'm just going to put a small divot in all these points all the way around here. Okay, so I didn't really have to hit it tremendously hard, but we'll remove the plan. Trying to be careful not to tear everything. And now if you look really close, you can see that we've got all of our divots in there, and we will just go and connect the dots again per the plan. And I don't know, I think it kind of helps to have the plan out in front of you so you can still verify where you're at and when you're making these connections. So again, just starting on the side here, we're just going to transfer these marks right on down the line there. So we've got all the sides pretty well wrapped up here. And then just freehand around from point to point, trying to make that curve as smooth as possible. And you could probably do this with a tin snips as well, just by using good judgment as you're cutting. But it's important that we have both lines here, both the inner and the outer line, and that's going to play a role later when we put the bends on it and everything, so we can see, kind of like when we were running our easy edger, but we're going to run our a different tool here for this setup. Okay, we are ready to cut this thing out, so I'm going to probably first take it up to the shear and just cut it down to size, and then we'll be ready to go with the tin snips. So let's go there next. Alright, let's slide it in there and make sure we don't cut off anything more than we want to. Okay, let's go and cut the contour here, or the radius. Okay, here we are back here. We're going to cut this radius using the outermost mark. We got to save the inner one. So we'll run that around, trying to make that curve as smooth as we can when we're cutting with our snips, so it makes it a more of a round top. Okay, and then when you get done, just take a visual look over the thing and see if there's any areas that you think need to be like smaller. Like here's a small area where the radius I think needs to be just a little bit more of a curvature. So I'm going to snip that out of there as well. Everything else looks pretty decent. So let's finish up notching everything out. So there's a small 1/4 inch chunk up in this upper corner here. That's got to get taken out of there. And as well on the bottom. On the other side is our 7/8 for our lock form. Again, most of them will be 1 inch here, but our machine takes up 7/8 in the shop, so that's what we're going to take out of there as well. And same on the bottom here. And then let's take these points out of the bottom. With that, the project is cut out and ready to go. It's ready to be rolled and formed into squared around. But before we do that, we have to run this in through the lock form. And this is the one big difference about this project to any others. Every other project, we ran it with the lines up so they'd be inside. This one, we got to run it with the lines down on this edge to run that through the lock form. So let's do that next. Okay, so I've got my lines side down. I'm going to get ready to run this side through. Here we go. Keeping it straight with the fence there, running it straight on through. And there we go. When we get that back together, we'll have this small little lock form edge showing here, and this will be smooth on the inside when this 1/4 goes inside there like that. So let's go on over to the brake next, and with 4-foot brake, we'll bend that up. Okay, here we have our 4-foot brake. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the inside, and we're going to work our way out. So we're going to start at the first pivot point here, and we're going to kind of roll this thing through, putting small little bends on it. The more bends you put in this, the better it's going to be and the smoother it's going to look. So let me just get ready here to demonstrate. We'll start with the first point, set it on in there, and then just start putting small little tweaks on that all the way around. It takes quite a while. Another thing I'll mention here is that the lock form is this side up with the outside down per this brake, per this method. So the closer they are, the smaller the bends, the better it's going to go together for you. Like say a 1/16 of an inch in between every bend there is what you're looking for. Okay, once we got that first 1/4 or whatever you want to call it done, we're going to move this end to the next point and continue that rotation all the way around until we get to the other side of the part. So we were here, now we're going to keep this point at that setting, and we're going to roll around and continue on with this part. Again, making them bends as small as possible and as many as possible. Okay, we're up to that next point there, so we're going to transition again to the other edge there. So again, we're getting closer with every step. We'll keep forming that around, and then again to the next point here. So we were down here. We'll spin it out and continue around. And there we go. So back here at the bench, if we take our lock form, you may have to spread it out just a little bit there per the bending that we've done to it. get that all fitted together, and then just do a little bit of hand touch up on the top there. We can usually make that into a nice round contour of the top. Should measure out about 6 inches is what our goal will be at the end of this project. So we're really close there. So and that's probably going to wrap it up for this part of the video. That was enough. Next one, we're going to build the throat or the collar that goes on there, and then we'll put the bead or the hem around the top here. So thanks for joining me. I hope this helps, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.